You know who it is. It's your boy, Big Kev from Big Kev's World, coming back at you with another video. This is not a hate week, part two. I've already said what I needed to say to Dashy and those Cincinnati bungholes. This is more of me dissecting the game this Saturday about both teams. And you know, let me clarify something first. I think it's great that Cincinnati won their first playoff game in over 31 years. I think it's fantastic that they won their first playoff game in 31 years. However, you're coming into a place that's very loud here in Nashville. Nashville knows how to party. All right. Um, we're gonna have a lot of two-tone blue Titan fans up. Oh, oh, oh. We're gonna have those guys are in there. Um, right now, Derrick Henry took part in a 2 day practice with pads on, so he got to hit a couple players. Players got to hit him. Um, right now, Mike Vrabel and the Titans are kind of making it seem like that they're not going to play Derrick Henry. But when I saw Derrick Henry's interview with the press here in Nashville, that wink that he had in his eye, he said he don't even really feel the steel plate in his right foot. His foot still feels like it has it always been. Um, to be honest with you, they don't need to have Derrick Henry do a lot of carries in this game because Deontay Foreman has shown, and Hillard and McNichols, they've all shown that the run game has still stayed in place while Derrick Henry's gone. The Titans have beaten 8 teams this year with winning records. But you know what's funny is that you got people out there who will complain that, oh, well, the Titans had an easy schedule because the AFC South sucks. Um, they played Titans without Derrick Henry, beat the Rams, beat the 49ers, beat the Colts again. I mean, to think about it this way, the Titans made franchise history, a record-setting history this year by by doing one thing that no team has ever done here in the NFL. They went through 92, 93 players this season on the practice squad and off the street. I mean, they've had so many injuries, so many adversities that this team has had to overcome in order to even get to where they need to be. And you're asking yourself, well, Kev, Cincinnati's overcome a lot. We had this one guy who's a San Diego Charger fan in the comments section saying, Cincinnati, well, a Charger fan, LA Charger, sorry, fan who came in and said, the Bengals deserve to win because they haven't won, they haven't been to the Super Bowl in almost this many years, and the Titans have been since 20. I'm like, you know what? It don't matter who's been where, who's been what. What it matters is on any given Saturday, even any given Sunday, in the NFL playoffs, you win or you go home. That is simple as that. Now, let me tell you about the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they have a great young offense. Joe Burrow has come into his own. Him and Chase both have that LSU Tiger connection. They're really working together. Well, and in that game against the Raiders, he didn't even look at any other receivers. He threw at Chase 8 times down the field. Now, yes, the Titans are ranked 22nd against the pass. I understand that, but we got Amari Hooker back there. We got Kevin Byard back there. Kevin Byard's one of the best safeties in all of football, period. And the Titans' front four, a healthy Bud Dupree, Harold Landry, Jeffrey Simmons, and Autry have, when they go up against playoff teams, they had a good sacks against Patrick Mahomes. They had some good sacks against Matthew Stafford. They had some good sacks against Jimmy Garoppolo. They had some good sacks against any playoff team that they faced in the season this year. They've had some good hits with. And this is the first time Hell, during training camp, the Titans weren't healthy then either. Like Tannehill didn't get a chance to play that much with AJ Brown and with Julio Jones. So we don't know what a healthy Julio Jones, a healthy AJ Brown, and a healthy Derrick Henry is going to look like. But this Saturday, you're going to see it. Now, even if by some grace of God, Derrick Henry does not play this Saturday, which I believe that he will, but by some grace of God, he does not play, I am confident in my team to go out there and get it done. Do the Titans win big a lot of times? No. Do the Titans win ugly and physical? Yes. But that's who they are. That's how Mike Vrabel, as a head football coach, he deserves to be coach of the year. I mean, I know a lot of Packer fans are thinking, well, Matthew Floor, we're 13-3. We only lost 3 games. I get that. But Mike Vrabel has done some fine coaching this season. I'm talking about to the point of when you have so many players injured, and then when Derrick Henry went down, you had the media, and I played it in my Hate Week video. You had the media going, "Oh, Titans season's over. It's over. They're done. Blah 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 blah." And the fact that Mike Vrabel is able to take a team with all this adversity and all these injuries and all this stuff and cultivate it to another AFC South championship, to a number 1 seed in the playoffs, that's impressive. That's incredible. That's coaching. Far none. And he doesn't get enough credit. And, I know I've been very critical of Ryan Tannehill over the last couple of years. But Ryan Tannehill worked his ass off these last couple of games without Henry. And there was a point where he didn't have Julio or A.J. Brown. He was throwing it to people who you'd never heard of before. But they were still winning games. That tells you the intensity, the laser focus that the Tennessee Titans have. Now, the one thing about Tannehill is he really hasn't shown up during the playoffs. These last 2 years, he really hasn't shown up in the playoffs. This is a time where we really need him to step up. In order to beat Cincinnati, the best thing we got to do is we got to get the run game going. We got to get the play action going, and we got to run time off the clock. That's what the Titans do. Yeah, it's not pretty. And I know that some NFL people probably don't like the Titans or they don't really talk about them much, which is a very disrespectful thing. But you know what? I guarantee you, Mike Vrabel, if you've ever seen any of his victory speeches to his teams, you should go and watch them. They're very inspirational. And the fact that Mike Vrabel's telling them, hey, everybody's looking at you. You might be the number 1 seed, but everybody's looking at you like Cincinnati's going to come in here and beat you. Cincinnati's a better team. All this stuff. I'm guaranteeing you that's exactly what Mike Vrabel is telling the Tennessee Titan team right now. He's telling them, look, they don't think you deserve number 1. They don't think you deserve to do this. They don't think you deserve to do that. And that's what keeps this team focused. Titans have had a top 10, top 15 defense all this season. They're second in the league in sacks and in takeaways. So even though their secondary may not be the be all end all, this team kind of reminds me of that old school NFL team. Their defense is nasty. They get at people. They tackle. They're physical. That's what you need in the NFL is a very physical defense. We got that. You need a physical run game. We got that. And we got a quarterback who's not afraid to run the ball and get physical himself. So people can say what they want about Tannehill, but the Titans are a very tough breed team. They go with what their personality is with their head coach. And Mike Vrabel, I believe, and I don't know if he's going to win Coach of the Year. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to give it to Matt LaFleur because NFL does kind of kiss certain teams' asses. I'm sorry, Matt and Nick. You my boys. Matt Alden, Nick Fargo, you my boys. But they do kiss Green Bay's ass quite a bit. The NFL, because if you're not a big league team, If you're not Kansas City, if you're not the Cowboys, if you're not the Packers, you're not the Eagles, Steelers, whatever, the NFL don't care. So this is what the Titans are up against. And yes, we're going into this is the third time in our franchise, I think in the Titans history. I don't know about the Oilers because I didn't go that far and deep into it. But yeah, the last time we got a number one seed, it was 2008. We were 13-3, and the Ravens came in and beat us, I believe, 13-10 or something to that nature, 17-10. And 2000, after our Super Bowl appearance with the Rams, we were 13-3, number one seed, and the Ravens came in and beat us again. So I understand that some people are a little nervous around here because they're like, wow, twice bitten, once shy. Will the clock strike you 3 times? You're out. That's what the Titans got to do. The Titans got to get a monkey off their back. They have to get past that division round because last year they hosted a wild card game at home. The Ravens came in, beat them because the Ravens remember what they did to them the year before. And the Titans came in during the season last year, beat the Ravens again. The Ravens came in, did what they needed to do when the time was right. So they came in, they beat us, they humiliated us, they humbled us. And listening to Derrick Henry's interview, he ain't forgotten that. And I guarantee you the other guys on the Tennessee Titans team have not forgotten what happened. So they got a statement to make. The statement is, it's me against the world. It's us against the world. That's what Vrabel brings to the Tennessee Titans. Now, being a former football player and having a football coach like that, I had a football coach who was like that, and my high school coach was a guy who comes in and he had these very inspirational things. He's like, look, they're saying this about you guys in the paper. They're saying this. They're saying you guys don't belong here, this and that. It made us go out there and want to prove to the world that, yeah, we are the bad guys. We are the ones that are going to come here and steal your lunch money and stuff like that. The Titans are bullies. Cincinnati coming in, everybody's all talking about, look at Joe Burrow. Look at Joe Burrow. Look. Joe Burrow this is his second year in the league. Second year in the league, his second playoff game ever. I'm not saying Joe Burrow will not be an elite quarterback because that kid's got a lot of talent. No doubt about it. But as I tried to tell Dashy before, and how I tried to explain to other Cincinnati Bengal fans and other people who are rooting for Cincinnati, here's the problem. Your team hasn't been in the playoffs. Your team hasn't won a playoff game in 31 years, right? Okay. Yes, this is not the Marvin Lewis Cincinnati Bengals team. Thank God. However, Kansas City has been to 2 Super Bowls. Won one, lost one. Buffalo has been to an AFC championship game. The Titans went to an AFC championship game the year before that. So this Tennessee Titan team, the Bills and the Chiefs all have something that the Bengals don't have. Playoff experience. The Titans coach has playoff experience. As a player, he's got 3 or 4 Super Bowl rings. He played under one of the greatest coaches of all time, and Bill Belichick. So if anyone wants to put down the Titans, you can go ahead and put down the Titans. But I guarantee you, Saturday when the game ends, don't come crying to me that I didn't tell you, that I didn't warn you, that I told you so. Now, I may or may not be in attendance. There's a possibility of me going to the game Saturday, and if it does happen, I will say this. When it does happen, if I go to a game, the Titans are actually, any game I've been to, they're actually 20-1 when I go to a game. 20-1. When Vrabel is 8-0 when having 2 weeks to prepare for a team. When the Titans are coming off a bye week, they're in that. So this is some pretty good numbers that are coming up. And I'm telling you right now, I wasn't really cool about Bud Dupree signing because he just came off that ACL surgery during the offseason. It took him a little bit to get used to the Titans system, but now he's starting to get used to the system. That knee is healthy. Taylor Lewan and the offensive line, that knee is healthy. That offensive line's nasty as well. They're physical. They're mean. But the Cincinnati Bengals also have a lot of defensive injuries. A lot of their defensive front are injured. So when your defensive front is injured, how do you expect to stop a 6'4", 247-pound King Henry, a beast, coming at you, stiff-arming everybody, who can run a 4.3, who can run 22 miles an hour down the field? How do you expect to stop him? And even if you do stop him, there's Foreman. And even if you stop the run game, you have A.J. Brown over here. You have Julio Jones over there. Two big physical receivers. Your defense can't double both. And if you double both, there's other little pieces of that puzzle that Ryan Tannehill can pick apart. Now, Dashy said Ryan Tannehill is 2-3 against the Bengals. And the Titans lost to the Bengals last year when the Bengals stunk. Okay. That's the regular season. That was last year. This is a different time. This is the playoffs, which means, as I said, you win or you go home. This Saturday, we're going to find out. We're going to find out the hard way. If the Bengals do beat the Titans, I do think Cincinnati has what it takes to get to the Super Bowl. I just don't think it's their year right now. Everybody has that chance where it's their year. It's one of those things where could it be a Titans Rams again? It could possibly be. Could it be the Titans and Packers? It could be the Chiefs and Packers. We don't know. But for you guys to come on here and trash talk, it's easy to trash talk when you're not on the field, lacing up a pair of cleats and playing that game. Okay? So Dashy. You know what's funny though is the fact you got all these people rooting for you and stuff like that. And you know what's funny about that Chargers fan? He was saying, "Hey, I respect Tennessee," but you know what's funny? I saw him on your comment section. He called it Trashville Titans, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's not my fault his Charger team hasn't been to the Super Bowl since 1994. I mean, not my fault. Anyway, I will say this though. I'm looking forward to the game. This is going to be a big physical game. The Titans. One thing, the keys to the Titans winning this game are pretty much simple. They have to control the clock. They gotta show their identity. They gotta show who they are. Don't stray away from who you are. And the Titans have to get some pressure on Burrow, and they got to make him make some indecisions in the pocket. Joe Burrow is going to get his. You can't stop Burrow all the way. You just got to contain him. We did a good job of containing Lamar Jackson from the Ravens. We've done a good job this year containing Patrick Mahomes. So I think we'll be just fine. With that. The ways the Titans can lose this game is if they come off sluggish. Now, the Bengals are not a team that you want to come off sluggish against because the Bengals like to score, and they like to score often. So this is a pass-friendly league. So if you come off sluggish, you can't just do your little, hey, let's come back in the second half because it might be too late at that point. But the Titans need to extend their dominance, and they need to extend their dominance on all 4 quarters. Now, the Bengals had a lead against the Raiders. They almost let the Raiders come back. What's up, Holston? They almost let the Raiders come back and beat them. So for them to come in here and actually, this ain't the Raiders, okay? Tennessee Titans are built as the old school team. And so I know some of you are like, oh my God, they're so boring. Like they play all this physical defense. They run the ball all the time. They're just really boring. How do you think Ray Lewis won 2 championships with Baltimore? With a Trent Dilfer and a Joe Flacco. And 3-point happy NBA. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Paulson. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing: the reason why the Ravens won those Super Bowls those twice is because they had a nasty run game and they had a nasty defense, and that's exactly what the Titans got. And the Titans are built for stuff like this because they're healthy at the right time. When you want somebody to be healthy, you're healthy at this right time. This is the right time to be healthy. And Buffalo and Kansas City are going to have a rematch of their AFC Championship this weekend. And if I want to let those two teams know, you have to come through Nashville to beat us. And I'm telling you right now, and I told Dashy this, even if Cincinnati finds some way to beat us, you're not going to beat Buffalo and you're not going to beat Kansas City because your team lacks the experience. Now, 2 or 3 years down the road, when the Bengals got that experience in them and they got all their commodity together, then you can say, okay, then this can happen. What do you say? Dallas in the 90s is the number one defense in the league and NFL's leading rusher. Exactly my point. And they had a Hall of Fame receiver in Michael Irvin as well. So I mean, they're back then with Dallas, even if you tried to stop Emmitt Smith, you have Michael Irvin and you had Harper to deal with, and I think Jay Novacek was their tight end. So you had those guys to deal with, and I know Dashy's like, oh yeah, you gotta deal with Chase, and we gotta deal with this guy. You gotta deal with this guy. Look, if any of you think that his hate week was great over mine, you are delusional. Mine was funny. Mine was entertaining. Mine was straight to the point. I didn't walk around trying to be like little Easy E with my little. Look at me. I got my Cincinnati looking like AJ Styles. I didn't do that. I'm telling you right now, the Tennessee Titans, I got a feeling they're going to win this game Saturday. Once they get that monkey off their back and they can finally host an AFC Championship at home, whoever it is between Kansas City and Buffalo, the Titans have beat you both this year. So it doesn't matter. And I know some people are like, well, Kansas City's starting to get around. They're starting to come around again. Look, Kansas City's offense is coming around, but Kansas City's defense is still lacking. So the way I look at it, the way I'm seeing this thing, Derrick Henry's going to play. I don't know how many snaps he's going to play this game, but when you have Deontay Foreman actually coming in and being a legit backup to Derrick Henry, he could take some of that load off of Derrick Henry, which means they could rest Henry a little bit more for the AFC Championship. So you see where I'm going with this. Cincinnati. When you're front four and you have a lot of injuries on your front four and you're not very good against the run, that's bad. Because the Titans love to pound you into submission. They like to milk that clock. They like to take time off that clock. And that's the way to beat Cincinnati. And I'm telling you, Cincinnati is not as physical as Tennessee. And I know some people are going to be like, well, they faced Pittsburgh and the Ravens like twice in one season, and both of those teams are physical. Yes, but there's a whole different kind of physical with the Titans. This is a different physical team than Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And you're going to see it on Saturday, 3:30 Eastern. No, 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern. You're going to see it in Nissan Stadium this Saturday. And if I go to the game, hell, maybe I might post something on here from the game. I don't know. But if I don't go to the game, I will be doing a watch party. I will be drinking my beer. You'll probably hear some profanity and all that other bullshit. So, yeah. And by the way, the NFL stock is like 50-something dollars. I'm thinking about buying some NFL stock because I would like to fire Roger Goodell. I would love to do that. I know me and Poston and Stephen Rose were talking about buying a lot of stock, not just for NFL but WWE as well. So that's we're going to talk about that soon. Trust me, it's going to happen. I almost got crucified by Tyler Spence and the boys will be boys preaching defense and rushing game. See, T. Spence has a problem. He always thinks it's pass friendly. Pass friendly. That's why people love when they play the Madden game. They like playing Aaron Rodgers. They like playing with Patrick Mahomes and all this stuff. That's all fine and dandy. But if you ain't got a stingy defense to back you up and you don't really have that physical of a run game, like Kansas City doesn't, that's a problem. Now Cincinnati does have a good run back in Mixon. I mean, I have nothing against Cincinnati. I think that they're a really good young up and coming team. They remind me of the young '90s Dallas Cowboys. They do. They do remind me of that, and I believe they have potential. But this isn't your year. It's not going to be your year. They want Dax to throw for 500 yards and losing. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why people can say what they want about Tannehill, but Tannehill fits perfect with us because Tannehill, when everybody's healthy and he doesn't have to do much, he's got a defense to back him up. He's got a run game to back him up as well. And that's how it goes. Exactly right. But see, you know what, Poston? Me and you, we understand this game. We understand it from an old school perspective. These new guys, these young cats are like, you don't know what you're talking about. You can't stop Chase. You can't stop Joe Burrow. You won't be able to stop this person. But they think that they can go and stop Derrick Henry and Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. That's like a three-headed King Ghidorah monster right there. Even if you severed one head, you got two other ones, and the other one regenerates and grows back. So now, I do think if Derrick Henry plays, and I believe he is going to, and hopefully Cincinnati is preparing for him because if you don't, I can see a buck 50, 200 yards on Saturday. But I think he's going to share the load. I think that they're going to have Hillard and McNichols and Foreman still taking some load off of Derrick Henry. I don't think he's going to be getting 20, 30 carries a game. I don't think that's going to happen this time around. Yeah, the Houston Oilers in the 90s was all about Warren Moon. And they didn't have Earl Campbell at that point, and the Oilers were. That's why the Oilers got put out of the playoffs a lot of times. That's why they got beat by the Buffalo Bills, who didn't even have Jim Kelly in that playoff game. I think it was, 92, 91? They faced the Bills in the AFC Championship or something like that, and hell, Jim Kelly didn't even play that game. Dan Marino had 0, and that's the reason why. He had all these pass statistics. Now, people are like, well, Tom Brady likes to throw the ball. Peyton Manning likes to throw the ball. But those two quarterbacks were smart. 93. Thank you, Polson. I thought it was either in that time frame. But the difference between Tom Brady and a Peyton Manning compared to a Dan Marino was Tom Brady had weapons. Peyton Manning had weapons. But Peyton Manning and Tom Brady knew how to manage a game. They knew the ins and outs of defenses. So think about it this way. Peyton Manning would have won more rings. He would have won more Super Bowl rings if he had a legit running back, a legit bruising running back. He would have won more Super Bowls. Hell, if Brady had a guy like Derrick Henry with the Patriots back then, I don't think the Patriots would have lost the Super Bowl. I really don't. Well, Tom Brady had a running back. Well, yeah, but not. I'm talking about not in the stature of like a Derrick Henry. Is what I'm trying to say. You know, Belichick was a defensive coach, and that's the reason why when people don't understand Mike Vrabel learned from Belichick. I mean, he played under Belichick. He knows the mindset of this football game, and he knows how to make these boys. That's what's really great about this is the fact that he's had so many injuries this year, so many they've had to overcome every obstacle that you could think of. And when they've overcome those obstacles, he should be coach of the year. But like I said, I think they're gonna probably go with Matt LaFleur from the Packers because that's just how the NFL is. I'm gonna kiss Green Bay's ass. I'm gonna kiss Kansas City's booty. I mean, it's we all know who's fudge packing around here. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Um, but yeah, Titans used to be a rival of the Bengals. We used to be in the AFC North. And we went to the AFC South, and I know some people like A Train who would say, "Well, Titans had a weak schedule." We faced it eight. We faced seven playoff teams, eight teams with winning records. Two were former playoff teams last year, and you guys faced. I don't know, let's see, the Steelers twice, faced the Ravens twice, faced the 49ers and the Packers. I mean, whoopee. I mean, it's an opinion that people got, and that's fine. People are entitled to their opinion, but I'm telling you, on Saturday, Cincinnati Bengal fans, Dash, you don't come crying to me when your team loses this Saturday in Nissan Stadium. New England had a running game to support the defense. Tom Brady could extend the running game with the short, quick passes to move the ball down the field systematically. Yep. I'm just saying that I think Peyton Manning would have won more Super Bowls if he had that kind of run game. So that's what I could tell some people with that. However, I'm just going to clarify that if any of you who are voting for the Bengals to win this weekend, that's your prerogative. You can do that. I'm not going to sit there and tell you not to, but I will attest to this and tell you the Tennessee Titans have more playoff experience than Cincinnati. The Tennessee Titans have got something to prove. They've been facing adversity all year long. They got something to prove. They got monkeys on their back as well. And I want to tell you right now, don't be surprised. It's not going to be a high scoring game. I don't expect this to be a high scoring game. Titans like to play an ugly game. So they had a Titans like to play an ugly game. Titans are going to force you to play their game. And Cincinnati cannot play that kind of game the Titans play. When you have that so many injuries on your defense right now, you're pretty much going to be in trouble. As long as the Titans control the clock, make Cincinnati play their game, there should be no reason why Tennessee does not win this game. But like, share, and sub. There's more videos, more content coming very soon. Like I said, if I don't go to the game, I might do a Titans watch party on here. Watching the game, I can't necessarily play it because of copyrighted issues. But we also got something coming up soon between me and the Prodigal Hill and Stephen Rose, where we're going to be doing something that's probably going to piss a lot of you off. But I don't care. We don't care. He doesn't care. Stephen doesn't care. I don't care. But I will say this too. We got some more. I got some more wrestling content coming with We're going to be talking about the ruthless aggression era. And then we're going to start, might do a Royal Rumble review. I mean, I know I don't really watch WWE pay per views, but I'm looking forward to seeing Brock and Bobby Lashley. So we'll see what's going on there. But for now, I am Big Kev. This is Big Kev's world. You're just living in it.